Hello, Matt. Welcome to episode 10 of the Isekai Realms campaign. We are reaching the finale of this campaign. It's very exciting. I hope you're ready for this. I am Eric Scott DeB, writer, game designer, uh, social media influencer, and I am playing myself. Elric Thalavar is my name in the game. I am a wannabe paladin of Helm, but mostly just a first level warrior. Um, Check out our other campaigns here on the Dungeon Scrawlers. We'll talk about those later, but first, take it away, Allie.
Hi, everybody. I am Alexander Pitchford, or Ali for short. I am a writer, game designer, and TTRPG streamer, and today I am playing myself, aka Amara Valyrian, an elven thief, level 1, but getting there. Gonna learn how to do this stuff more. Uh, but I also today I would like to tell you about one of our sponsors, which is Idle Champions. Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is a strategy game that unites iconic Dungeons and Dragons characters from novels, campaigns, and popular shows into one epic adventure, including Farida, Havilar, and Mehen from the Brimstone Angels novels. The game is available for PC and Mac on Steam and Web, Epic Game Store, Google Play, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, iPad, iPhone, and on all Android devices. For more information, check out idlechampions.com.
Hey, I'm Rhiannon Held, a professional archaeologist and writer. I write urban fantasy under Rhiannon Held and space opera under RZ Held. And I have dice partners to tell you about. Norse Foundry specializes in metal dice. When you roll them, it feels like you're skillfully smashing the rigid armor of the monster horde. You can find their dice and accessories at norsefoundry.com. Phoenix Dice is named for the creature that rises from the ashes because they use all recycled materials. You can find their dice and accessories at phoenixdice.com.
Hi, I'm Randy, also known as Randonius Imperius Hendersonius, and playing a bard, and want to be a paladin of Helm. No, you're such an influencer, Eric.
Well, everybody wants to be me, right? Right? Why are you all looking at me like that? Okay.
I'm good.
All right, hello everybody. I'm Joel Everett. Usually one of your mods cutting it up in chat under the handle Rumpus Imperator. Like everybody else, I'm playing a version of myself, but transformed into a dwarf, possibly due to a family curse. And I have not yet adopted an adventuring pseudonym.
Hopefully it's a curse and not like a weird STD or something.
Hopefully.
100% a family curse.
Also,
who knows?
Randy, did your name get longer?
Possibly.
Yeah, I think he's been sporting that one for a while now.
I can't remember I honestly can't remember what I said originally. I would think it was something along those lines.
I just don't remember the Imperius
trying to track us
part.
confused.
I remember channeling the movie Gladiator. Anyway, hello again, everyone. And I am Chris, your humble dungeon master. Well, your dungeon master. And I am about to begin our sordid tale of adventure at the beginning of episode 10. And I'll give you a little recap of where we left our heroes last time. So in episode 9, our heroes went to the Purple Lady, a fest hall hereabouts, in an attempt to track down Gedrin Thalavar, the future Shadowbane, and unfortunately encountered some difficulties thereabouts, which resulted in fire, blood, and death. The players retreated from that place, Gedrinless. As it turns out, he was not there. However, they did encounter some mysterious person who knew where Gedrin was. So they are in possession of that information. And they returned to Briar House. When they did so and informed Jamal of the doings, they brought with them the seemingly unconscious body of their clerical friend, Finnan Wanderwhistle, only to discover that he was not unconscious, but sadly had passed. And Jamal did not take that news very well. And so when last we left our heroes, Jamal had just broken into ragged sobs over the body of the now deceased Finnan. Everyone else was gathered near the fireplace in the entry hall. So Anything from all of you, or shall I engage in a bit of what I suspect is your internal monologues?
I mean, Amara is kind of it took a seat somewhere and is probably just kind of head in hand. Like she's shocked. She's dealing, all of that was a mess. And the last words I remember speaking uh before we cut off last time was, "We just made them angrier."
This is true. Um, Randy, I imagine you're a little disappointed because Finn was a friend, and you were just starting to learn more about the god that Finnan worshipped. Um,
Yeah.
Joel, I know you know some things along with Randy that everyone else in the group might not know about what was going on in the back kitchens of that place that you left on fire when you left. And so you and Joel, or you and Randy rather, are probably struggling a bit with that knowledge. Eric, I can't help but think that you're probably feeling at least some degree of responsibility for all of this because that tends to be your thing.
Yep,
And
generally.
you led them in and led them out of this place. And Rhiannon, you may have set fire to that place inadvertently, but nevertheless, you did. It's a stone building, so hopefully that means it didn't just, burn to the ground, but it's probably still at least a flame, and the guard was on the way responding to that location when you left. The marks, when you encounter danger, fear, etc., tend to kick in and suppress those feelings, almost like an adrenaline boost. But when you're out of that and you are safe here, it wears off and shock sets in. So all of you are kind of feeling that in the quiet of the room as Jamal is sobbing over the body of Finnan. Do you wish to say anything to each other?
Actually, what I would like to do, I am going to shuck the gauntlets of my armor, kneel down next to Finnan, and start administering chest compressions.
Okay.
He's been under for less than 5 minutes. Brain death should not have set in yet.
You
I will
may
look around and say, does anybody know rescue breathing?
You
Yes.
may or
I've been
may
trained,
not
so.
recall that the last time we talked about this, you had a dialogue with your mark. I think it was your mark because you remember talking to it, trying to get its attention, and it indicated to you that Finnan was beyond help. I also seem to recall saying that there was a energy drain component to this that was more than just physical; it's spiritual. And so you can do what you're doing in the hopes that it will have some meaningful effect, but your heart's not in it in the sense that
I'm gonna he saved our lives. I'm gonna exhaust our options before we move, But we
Okay.
owe him our best efforts. So
Finnan, stop fire me now!
so some dramatic movie moments. So
Yeah.
Joel, you're going to do that. Rhiannon, you indicated that you understood the breathing portion of CPR when
Yeah.
Joel just asked. Does that mean that you're going to bend over Finnan and attempt to breathe into his mouth?
I mean, yeah, I'll follow Joel's lead.
I recall at the conclusion of the last session.
Mine is going to say this isn't worth it, right? Is that
No, I
okay?
recall at the conclusion of the last session that you said something along the lines of, "I can't touch him." Do you remember that?
Oh, right. Well, because I can't heal.
So while you ponder that,
No, I'm going to do it because the thing with the fire magic last time was when I was trying to summon magic, I hoped it was healing magic, and then it came out as fire. So I am in no way attempting to summon healing magic or any magic at all. I am summoning the power of science.
all right, the power of science and you will work together with Joel. Jamal will stop crying and look confused, but I thought she's talking to you, Randy. I thought they said, what are they doing?
They're processing their grief in their own way. And I think at the close of the last episode, I think I talked to her, but
You did.
But
You informed her that he'd given his life for the good of all of you.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. So yeah, but I will just read her. I'll say, at least we have peace to know he's probably, singing and dancing in a field with Finder right now.
She will nod at that. Eric, anything from you?
Okay, let's try this again. I'm going to try the land hands thing again.
Okay, so you remember this fellow is somewhat short. He's only about 4 feet long, stem to stern. Will stake out a portion of Finnan that they're not occupying, maybe the legs, and attempt to summon Helm's aid to pour healing magic into Finnan. Allie, anything from you?
I mean, I can't really help with this, and I'm kind of like, I'm shaky at the moment. Amara is shaky. I think what she might do is get some space from all of this. How feasible would it be for her to get up on the roof?
The roof?
The roof.
Well, you can climb. Do you have any rope?
I don't have rope, no. I do have those fancy jumpy boots, though.
You could, I suppose, go outside, use the fancy jumpy boots to gain purchase on the second level someplace near the turret, perhaps, and be on the roof. You'd probably want to inform the people in the room that you were leaving.
Yeah, I think I'll get up and I'll just be like, I need some air, and she'll start walking to leave.
Okay. Are you looking to go to the second floor and make your way out that way, or are you looking to go out the front doors, which are presently closed?
Second floor.
Okay. So you'll begin making your way up to the second floor. As all of you are doing this, no response, Joel, relative to the chest compressions, but as you know, this takes a little while. Randy, Jamal is still sort of on her knees watching what they're up to, and she'll start singing quietly at first, but with greater force as she goes into the song. She has a lovely voice, strong and certain despite her age. And the song she's singing is about fall and winter, the loss of a love, the coming of spring, and the death of the lover who lost the first, and their reunion beyond death's grasp. It's beautiful and moving, and it stirs feeling in all of you. It calms you and leaves you filled with a degree of resolve to action. However, you've generated no healing laying on of hands, Eric, no response to breath or heartbeat, Joel and Rhiannon.
And if there's a clear rhythm to the song, I'll softly play
the drum. Thank you. Allie, you are now separated from the rest of the group. You can hear the singing from downstairs, but it doesn't have the same effect on you.
That's fair.
Okay. As the song reaches its end, she will look up to you, Eric, and say, I am embarrassed that I did not think to ask this. What of Gedrin?
I believe we have a location where he can be found.
Where?
I look around.
In the room with you are the party, her, Mercy carrying the babes, and the lad who works here with his arms around the babes and Mercy. Varys is guarding the front door with his crossbow.
I think I'll probably follow after Allie just to check on her, and also because there are vampires and we probably shouldn't be alone.
All right,
outside,
fair.
Especially.
Okay. Eric?
I am not certain you wish me to burden you with that knowledge, my lady.
I sent you into what apparently was a trap. I deserve to be burdened.
Yeah, I led us into what was definitely a trap. I carry the burden.
Lad, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but there's no way I'm not going to help you. Where?
Very well, if you insist. And I tell her about the information we have, which is the ship that Gedrin is on.
And Joel, I'm I'm making a
Zolkir's
face.
pride,
Just,
so we're
just
Yeah,
saying, like when they're doing the like, no, it's my blame, it's my blame. You'll see me be sort of like,
Okay,
and then,
actually,
but
if Eric sounds like he's going to explain it, I try to cut him off and say, Eric, I think it's safer for everyone if they don't know our next steps. It's safer for them if they don't know our next steps.
I
We're
agree.
probably hunted by both the night masks and the watch at this point.
I agree. However, the lady is insistent, and I think it might be safer for everyone if we work together.
Joel, she'll say,
I mean, I can't stop him.
putting her hand on your shoulder to stop you doing what you're doing if you haven't already stopped doing it. With Finnan gone, I'm the best thing you have by way of a guide. You'll see that when she says that, her servitors seem troubled. Like, wait a minute, what is she doing? But she'll shush them with a glance. And for a moment, we will go upstairs. So, Allie, you've made your way to the second floor, sort of
Yes.
second and a half. If you recall, the turret room is a little bit
Mhm.
further up. You're opening up the windows, clearing out the garlic cloves, and unlocking the thing when Randy will come up behind you. You'll hear him coming before he arrives.
All right, just kind of busily doing that. I'll be fine.
Okay. I know that was a lot. Especially, I can imagine you are obviously becoming more and more part of this world and hoping to stay and then to face sort of the real consequences of that, maybe. How are you doing?
I'm doing as best as I can, Randy. Like I said, I need some air. I was gonna just sit on the roof.
Okay. I will be nearby if you need me. I with the vampires about, I didn't want anyone to be sort of entirely alone.
That's fair. I'm not going far, I promise. I'm not gonna run off.
Okay.
Just need to not be here right now.
I understand. I kind of didn't want to be staring at Finn's body either. So I'll just be over here in the corner, quiet.
So you'll
Fair.
stay in the bedroom, the loft or the tower bedroom, and Allie, having opened the windows, you can actually scamper out onto the roof without too much difficulty.
Okay.
You're,
Okay,
as I
yeah.
said, frighteningly dexterous at this point.
Fair enough. I will do that, find a little perch for myself and just kind of like head in hands, just kind of trying to process all of it.
Roll a 20-sided die for me since you're out there.
Okay. 9.
Okay. You'll see smoke rising from about a quarter mile north on the street, which is where the Purple Lady is located. There's a bit of flickering flame as the place is still afire. However, it's not burning as cheerily as you thought it might have been. So perhaps that combination of stone and the response of the guard has kept it from completely going up in flames. From your perch here, sort of ant-like activity in that direction, as obviously there are a lot of people responding. There were
Yeah.
people inside that place, for one thing.
Yeah, I'm aware. Not the full extent of how many people were in there, but I'm aware.
Got it.
As I kind of like stare out over the city and look at that, I'm just gonna kind of mutter to myself, I hope you got out of there.
Fair enough. I think we know who you're muttering to,
Yes, more than likely.
more than likely. All right. So, Randy, anything from you or just quietly reflecting in the room?
I'm struggling a bit with having to have left all those children in the place to potentially burn and or be consumed by the vampires to regenerate and that kind of a thing. Really, the shine has worn off on the realms for me a bit. Let's just say that.
In under 30 hours.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm struggling a bit to hold on to the wonder and the sense of fun of it all, but
Entirely understandable. All right, so back downstairs in the entry hall, you were about to explain the situation, Eric.
Uh-huh. So I look at Joel because I don't want to cross Joel. And, I agree with Joel.
Interesting choice of words.
I agree with Joel, but we owe this woman a great deal of gratitude, and she is insisting that she wants to help us.
Are you saying that out loud?
No, I'm just thinking this,
That's your internal monologue. Okay.
which nobody else can hear because we're not touching, and I don't have that power anyway.
Mhm.
Lady Jamal, a moment, if you would.
Certainly. Take your time.
All right, I go over to talk to Joel and Rhiannon
Hmm.
because I assume Rhiannon wants in on this conversation too.
I mean, well.
You will notice, the three of you, because she's not attempting to hide it as you sort of move into a corner to have your own quiet conversation, that she's, taking his cloak and laying it over him like a sheet. She's quietly removed the medallion from around his neck. Go ahead, have your conversation.
Okay, so we're in a difficult situation. I don't really want to endanger her. She has been very useful to us and very helpful and very, very welcoming, and she's just encountered a tragedy of her own. Maybe she's not thinking clearly. Maybe she can't help us, or maybe we'd be putting her in too much danger. What do you think?
That's not our decision to make. That's hers.
Well, that's where I was going, but
It is in terms of her own safety, but the thing is, unless she's coming with us, if we tell her where we're going, then it's easier for other people to follow us. I mean, if she can point the watch or the night masks to us, I mean, even if she wouldn't betray us deliberately, she could be magically compelled to share that information.
that's true.
So if she doesn't know, she can't give it up. And at a minimum, let's tell only Jamal, not everybody in the room.
This is to you, Rhiannon.
Hmm.
I can't believe that we're about to go on another one of these fruitless pursuits, but if we are, well then just bring her along. She is, in all probability, more powerful than any of you. Oh, and she has that wand at her belt.
Yeah, my attention goes elsewhere for a second and then sort of like re-engage.
Did you think of something, Rhiannon?
Yeah, talking to people.
Oh,
So we are, the first level babies or whatever. And so maybe we should take her along. And that's again a decision she gets to make. And then because one could argue that that would leave, her people exposed here. But then again, like if we're worried about, trying to get information, like I think that magically compelling brings a different aspect to it. But I think that she was always going to be in danger whether we tell her or not, because they would think that we would have. But I don't think that they would think that we would confide in random servants. So they might, not, it might leave them alone more. So I think that like telling Jamal, it kind of doesn't matter either way because they would think that we had. So then, maybe she should come with us if she wants to. That's her decision. We could offer it.
I think that they would think that we would think that she would think that they
Oh,
would think
yeah, I
that
know I went there, but
I think though that you
Okay,
are
so
right.
If she's coming with us, go ahead. Let's go ahead and tell her, but let's not share that with anybody else.
yeah.
I'm okay with that plan.
I want to make an observation,
Mhm.
which Jamal will not understand. So this is strictly for us. The last time we went into a harrowing situation, which was literally 2 hours ago, the only one who died was not one of us. We have plot armor that Jamal does not have.
I would argue that in fact we don't have plot armor. given
I'm
like
not
how
dead.
this has been
I
going.
should be dead. I should definitely be dead, but I am not dead. I think.
I feel like you're tempting the gods, but right now, but I'm not in the room. So.
Perhaps.
Well, I mean, so like whatever power, like tapping the mark, but not like showing it, but just like
Mhm.
through my shirt. Whatever powers brought us here, I think we're only around in as much as we are useful. And so if Jamal is useful with us, then I think she would have as much protection from that as we do. Honestly, like
glance over at
I
Finnan's body.
I don't know. You start going down that logic hole, and it's like, what good are we? Like, if I was gonna put my marks on people, let's put them on like level 1 randos. But
Well, Rhiannon, I think we've determined that you are the leader, so you get to make this decision. If you do not wish to make this decision, I will make the decision. But you're the leader, and I want to defer to you.
Ah, I'm not the leader.
Finally, a trace of wisdom.
All right. So
See,
As
you
a
could
group
you could just be
decision-
repeating everything your voice says to me, and I go, yeah, I understand why it feels that way.
okay. So quick
Yeah,
quick
Joko.
recap of where I think we're at. Eric, Ilra clocked you as a Thalavar even with the mask on, which means that the other people there probably did as well. And when the Night Masks or the Watch go to Castle Thalavar and ask about you and describe us, I have zero doubt that the Seneschal will give them an accurate description of us without our, all of us. And she actually saw most of our real faces. She knows some of our real names, and she knows we're staying with Jamal, or she knows we're friends with Jamal. I don't know if she knows. I don't remember if we said we were staying here.
Oh yeah, the
But I
watch
think
is
we have
definitely coming here. You're right.
We have a very short window of time before the Westgate equivalent of a SWAT team is surrounding this place. unless the Night Mask beat them here. And either way, we need to be gone by then. So
Yep, agreed.
I think we need to figure out what we're doing and get out. And the people who are here probably need to scatter as well. So let's figure out what we're doing and gather our folks and get out.
All right.
So here, why don't we sort of, divide and conquer? So why don't like I go with the servants to like grab some like food. I don't know if Realms have sandwiches. We can invent them if they don't, like something to eat on the way.
Mhm.
And Eric, Phil, and Jamal, give her the option to come with us. And Joel.
Oh, actually, Rihanna, there's one other thing. Finnan needs to be burned. He died to a vampire's energy drain. If he's buried, he will rise as a vampire, and they will gain access to any knowledge he has, because he will be a loyal servant of the vampire that killed him. So
Right.
We could leave him for Jamal to burn, but that seems like a service that seems like something we could take off her plate, if you would do the honors. I mean, let's explain it to Jamal first, but
Yeah, well, we should take
Yeah.
obviously.
it should be in a courtyard or something. Okay, so
Right, yeah, no, I wasn't suggesting we do it here, but
absolutely. Let me just check something. Am I going to need the strength I spend on such a spell coming up, do you think?
If the concern that he has is that someone will rise from the dead,
Yeah, I believe so.
who?
Finnan.
Who? Roll a 20-sided die, Rhiannon.
Hey, other Chris, my video glitched out for a minute, so it might have messed up your screen, so I'm not sure.
All right.
You
we're
are good.
Okay.
Rhiannon?
Thanks. 7.
Clearly the mark has no idea who the hell you're talking about.
Hmm.
So I, describe him.
Who is that?
That we have been working with, traveling with. I guess you can't see
Roll
what
a
I'm seeing, but
20-sided die, please.
6.
Okay, you start to make that comment, and then you think to yourself, If the mark can't see him, should I tell the mark that it can't see him? Do you wanna?
Huh. No, let's do with it was a friend of Jamal's who was killed in the fighting in the fest hall. And so Jamal is worried about him.
We don't really have time for this. Your victim, whomever it might be, will not rise until at the earliest the morning, but more likely tomorrow morning, and they need to be buried first. Have they been buried?
No.
Then you're safe.
Okay. So the burning can wait as long as we don't bury him yet. So I feel like rather than doing like a normal pyre, I would like to do it with a spell, but if we need spells for getting Gedren, I think we need to do that first and then circle back.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, very well. So shall we divide to do our missions?
Is Joel hanging with me while we talk with Jamal?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll sort of do one of these where it's like, Eric, you can still hear, and be like, if they get into the like circle of blame, like kick him in the ankles, okay?
The circle of blame.
Rhiannon's got no patience for this lawful good nonsense.
Okay.
All right.
I do have one question.
Yes.
How long? So as far as I have a question about how reverie works specifically.
Yes, go ahead.
How long? Like how long does that take to slip into?
That is an excellent question. You don't know because you haven't ever done it. And I don't know that if you don't know, you know. In other words, from lore. If you're trying to do so right now, roll a 20 sided die.
All right. 4.
You haven't.
Okay. Nothing yet then.
I shall
Yeah,
leave you
she's-
to ponder that.
She's trying to focus and like she has someone to talk to. That's
Yes, I suspect I know who.
that's what she's trying to do right now.
Gotcha.
Now that she's like, yeah.
All right. No dice so far, as they say. All right.
All right.
So back to the circle of blame. Eric?
All right, I go back to Jamal with Joel in
Okay.
tow.
All right.
All
Jamal
right.
will-
Wait till the other servants have been pulled out of the room first before you start.
Jamal actually has them quietly and reverently transporting Finnan's body to the library. Like there's a table in the library and laying the sheet out on top of it. So you have him alone with her in this room. Yes. So what have you decided?
We have discussed.
But before
ahead.
we say anything else, Jamal, Finnan cannot be buried. Because he was slain by a vampire, if he is buried, he will rise as a vampire, and specifically a vampiric slave of the.
Her shoulders will sag a little.
So his body must be burned. I didn't know how quickly you would normally bury him, but his body must be cremated. To avoid that happening.
I was thinking of, well, not until tomorrow at least. How much time do we have?
He won't actually rise unless he's buried. So
he will keep
so
then.
if you just hold off, we are expecting to take care of the burning for you. But just I didn't know if you were going to be proactive about funeral rites.
No. Finder's faith is very catch as you go as it relates to such things. It's sort of the choice of the individual. And so I was going to do what I thought Finn would want, which would involve shield meat. So you have at least until then. I'd be happy to have your help with cremation.
It should be clear that we're only speaking of tendencies. These particular vampires might operate on a different schedule, or their powers might work differently. You might want to have the body watched.
I shall have Varys stand over it.
Okay. So we discussed sharing the information with you. I hope you understand that it is an awkward and difficult situation.
Certainly.
We suspect that we have many enemies that are after us, and they will come here because you are
What makes
known
you
to be
say
our
that?
ally.
Ah,
Well,
I see.
you are known to be our ally, and the Thal of our household certainly knows that you are our ally. And because of this face, it's possible that they will go through them to find us, and that will lead them to you. So,
So we
um,
must get the boy, get back here, and decide what to do by dawn. I can't imagine that the watch or whomever else will be managed to achieve anything before then.
well, the vampires do not will not wait until dawn.
Hmm.
They are nocturnal creatures. So it might be best for you to stay here and protect your people and your household while we go out and do this thing. If you are determined,
That wasn't what we discussed.
I'm getting there. If you are determined to come with us,
Well, I don't even know where you're going.
well, we will accept your aid, but we'll only tell you where we're going if you are determined to come with us.
Is it outside of the city?
No.
Then I'm determined to come with you. You don't know this place.
Not as well as you do. That is true. All right. I look at Joel.
I don't actually know where we're going yet. You haven't.
He looks confused. And then
Okay, I tell her about the ship.
tell me
This-
about the ship.
Okay, well, as far as we understand, Gudrun can be found in the hold of this probably Thayan ship, because it's called the Zolkir's
Pride.
Pride. Yeah,
Yes.
which is not
that
typically
sounds Thayan to me.
it's not typically a name that you'd give just any ship.
I
So-
imagine I know what section of the docks a ship like that may very well be docked in.
Well, that would be very helpful.
It's certainly not going to be in any of the family areas, which probably puts it at the outer piers. Yes, she'll stand up. Let's go get
think
him.
this sounds like. I think this sounds like the solution to our problem. I think we need to get out of Westgate. If they are sailing with the
Out of
morning tide,
Westgate, that's what she'll say. Why would we do that?
If we're being hunted by the Watch and the Night Masks, we need to
She'll look at you.
get out of here until
I've been hunted by the
Guys,
Watch and the Night Masks before, lad, and here I am, still alive.
Well, they're hunting us, not necessarily you, my lady.
Well, they'll have to go through me to get to you.
Well, if we're out of the city, then the odds of them even attempting to harm you are much lower.
Let's get the boy and make that decision once we have.
So
Okay.
my thought was we present ourselves as people who are in trouble and need to get out of town quickly, and we attempt to book passage on board this ship. And then once we're aboard, we can either make the decision to grab him and get off.
Her mouth is
or
literally
we can
wide
jump
open like
straight
mine
into
is.
port.
On a Thayan vessel?
Look, they're not so bad. They're all just bald and they have the tattoos.
They're slavers.
That's
Yes.
true.
Oh God, slavery. Okay.
So if the boy is in their hands, no doubt that's the state he finds himself in. We have to rescue him. Lad, you may not know as much about the Thayans as I do. Let's see their ship, and then we'll discuss that plan.
All right. Let me know when I can take another crack at this.
All right, one moment.
All right.
We're going to go into an 80s power montage where, there's some chords and you
Yeah.
gear up and strap on your stuff. So she's going to go explain to her servants that she's going to be gone without telling them where she's going to go, and then she's going to come back. You guys are sort of left to your own devices to gear up as you see fit. I'll go back up to the roof. We're on the roof.
All right. Okay, so I'm trying again. I mean, Randy could come out on the roof. I just went on the roof on my own.
I don't think he has any plans to do that, Randy.
No, I have started to. I had a revelation. Like my coping is, wait a second, we're writers. At some point, we're gonna get back to the real world, and all the children that they were characters, right? So when we get back to the real world, I'll write that they all got away perfectly fine and happy, and then that will happen. And so I've started a list, kind
I
of
hope
like
for
an
you that's how that works.
anti-Aria list of all the people I'm going to save
Very
when we
clever.
get back to the real world through my writing.
When
Yeah.
he does the novelization of this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, when Eric said, that cremation is just one of the services we offer, I suddenly, in my mind, played out a commercial of, "Hi, thinking of joining the Winged Adventure Crew? Well, we offer you a red shirt and free cremation services." That's right.
All right.
Okay.
Anyway.
Repatriation is
You want me
easy
to-
when you're a pile of ash.
That's right.
Go ahead, Allie.
But
All right. You want me to
yes.
roll again?
Yes.
17.
Yeah, no. Rest is just
No.
not coming to you. Neither reverie nor rest of the traditional kind. Your mind is racing, and the fact that you aren't achieving what you're trying to achieve is just making you that much more anxious. You've dropped into one of those feedback loops where you're pretty sure
Yeah.
you know you're not getting what you want right now.
All right.
Does that mean you're coming off the roof?
Yes, that means I'm coming off the roof.
All right, very well. Get off the roof. Okay. You're back
she'll-
inside.
Are you
yeah.
okay, Ollie?
No.
Everything all right?
No. I need to have a word with my little friend, and I can't.
Oh.
Just
Who is your little friend? Do you know?
me? I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But
I know Rhiannon has a friend, right? And we know Rhiannon has a friend, right?
Rhiannon has indicated that Rhiannon has a friend.
Yeah, and I think Eric's friend is Helm. But
I've mentioned her before. I was useless back there, Randy. Utterly fucking useless. And there's our one. But when I tried to get help for that, all the Mark did was give me some words that dumped me on my ass down the street.
Oh, Allie,
Yeah.
at that, your use of the one, you'll get a voice struggling to communicate to you because, dreams is kind of where it lives, but it can occasionally communicate to you in wakefulness, and it will say this. Allie, Amara, your power is deception, seduction, and the blade in the dark, not ostentatious bursts of power or brute strength of arms. Revel in that truth.
So then show me how, I will think.
Okay. No response.
I will growl at that. Just be like, God.
Something's going on, Randy.
I was gonna say,
Damn it!
are you talking to them right now? Because you had this look on your face of
Briefly and frustratingly briefly.
did they explain why they dumped you in the street?
My power is not in ostentatious displays. And I get that. But when I'm in the middle of a fight and all of my friends are in trouble, I would at least like to be able to do something.
I understand that.
And
Very
I
well.
just need to get this done. I'm just frustrated and I need to talk to them because like this, and she'll point at her face. I'll point at my face. Was this some kind of trick? Was this some kind of like messing with me? Because I didn't pick this.
Are you unhappy with it?
No, but I tried to make something that was mine, and this is not mine.
I can imagine. Yeah.
None of this is. And she'll I'll motion at the gear, the armor. Like none of this is mine. The armor I found, the boots, the knife, all of it.
Is it the presentation or is it you? Do you feel like who you are right now is not your choice?
Nope. I don't know how to answer that question. I don't.
Okay.
I try to do something for once to define myself. I just need to finish this, and I'll turn and walk, try to head back downstairs.
Gotcha. Randy, it's
Yeah.
pretty clear that you aren't the only one for whom the shine is off of the realms. It has been through the very traumatic experiences that you've all experienced within just a day, been slowly eating away at everyone's contentment, sanity, etc.
Yeah. And yep. And I'm determined to like get through whatever it is that we're getting through. So hopefully, Allie and Rhiannon can get home, and Allie can get to a place where she can fully define herself within this place.
Gotcha.
Without
Well, the
meddling
only way
gods or whoever.
the only way out is through.
Yeah.
Which will bring us back downstairs. So, Allie, you will arrive at about the time the other three are gathering together. You can hear the chords of a power ballad of some kind or another, 80s. You feel this means that people are getting ready to go out on an adventure. What do the four of you wish to say to each other?
What's the plan? And she's like I'm like, wiping tears away. Is that like just trying to compose myself? What's the plan?
So we're going for the ship with Jamal. And not telling anybody else here so that nobody can get the information about it. I was organizing, packed lunches, as it were. So
Gonna go kill some slavers, probably.
Fun. Certainly deserve it.
Okay. Randy, you are now also downstairs with the rest of the group. Anything you wish to add?
Oh, if we can maybe find a way to do so that is not like barging into the barge, if that's possible. And and maybe, a less ostentatious approach.
You'll say that to the group.
Yeah.
I mean, if he is in the slavery status, we could just try buying him. I mean, he's a child. How much could it be worth?
You really want to pay into that?
Not especially, but I also don't really want to try to storm a ship full of slaves.
Eric seems upset.
They don't deserve a single coin.
I don't disagree.
Eric's sword seems upset.
I mean, I'm with you, Joel. Like,
Let's go kill some slavers.
maybe that's the
get
cover
a
story or something.
Something. I mean, we barely got out of that last scrape with our lives.
And down from upstairs comes Jamal, who has transformed herself somewhat. She's, clearly taken the 80s power ballad seriously, and geared up. She has her hair tied back, raven feathers braided into it. She's wearing dark silk. Yeah, exactly. Leather boots. She has a potion belt on, daggers, at least a half a dozen that you can see strapped all over herself, and a wand at her belt. Also, she's wearing studded leather bracers. You imagine those must be magical. She doesn't exactly look defenseless.
I think one thing I did do is I grabbed the long sword that I've been using on my way downstairs, since I only had my dagger going into
a better weapon.
Yeah.
D8 instead of D3 or D4. Sounds good to me.
I don't recall if I was still wearing the wizard's robes.
You were the sort of red and orange and etc.
Yeah, go back to something more practical.
Okay, so what is something more practical? Just sort of like the clothes you came in, or?
So the jeans I came in, and maybe the shirt, but then over top of it, sort of a long button-down coat, sort of brocade type fabric.
Okay.
So that
dark
I don't
color
stand out. Yes.
Okay.
Don't
Gray
say
or
that
black?
word so badly.
What's your preference?
Um,
Well, gray,
I mean, I
black, or
think
navy blue. You have all three to choose from.
gray would, if I do have them to choose from, gray would be what I would choose.
Gray it is. Wool, so it'll be a little warm, but it is nighttime. Okay.
Yeah.
Very well. So Jamal will say when you're ready. Are you?
Did we like have some food? Because I'm serious about this. Like, we need to like eat at some point.
There is food in the kitchen, just sort of
Okay.
out in the open, because remember this was a
Yeah.
feast day. And Finnan didn't eat it all before he passed, so there's
I will
still
go
some
grab
of it
something.
left in the kitchen. Okay, so
Yeah,
you'll
so I sort of stuff some into my mouth.
all right feed your bodies as well as your souls, so to speak.
Yes, I will.
All right.
I will grab whatever looks appealing and eat that.
There will be a brief dialogue between Jamal and her people, in particular Mercy, as it's clear she's setting out to depart with you all. She's kind of trying to hustle you out the back door of this place. And, Mercy's asking her if, she's sure she needs to do this and, why risk herself. And you'll overhear the little speech that she gives if you're interested.
Sure.
Okay. Basically, she says that for too long, other people have been fighting her battles for her, whether it's Mintassin or Thistle or Elias, or now this new group of cheap heroes. And she's injured. She's not dead. She has her magic, her wits, and she knows the way there. And so there's no way she's not going to help these people. And she'll tell Mercy to get the house ready. She'll be back with a boy named Gedrick. Okay. So, all of you geared up?
Yep.
Anything in particular you want me to know about who has what?
I think Rhiannon should take the mask off and we should put it on Randy, because every vamp in the place got a good look at his face when he stopped to talk to them. So I think they all got, I think his face needs to be different as long as we're in Westgate, unless we have a higher priority come up.
Okay,
I don't
Randy?
suppose there's an actual suit of armor here, is there?
There is. Joel is wearing it.
Okay.
There's leather armor that might fit you, Eric, if that's what you're talking about. But like metal armor, the only suit is the one that Joel is wearing. The chain mail is fake.
Yeah, I'll put on the suit of leather armor. It's better than nothing.
It's a little tight because you're a monster.
I
But
was gonna say, be less tall, Eric. That makes things easier.
yeah, but
He's got the bare midriff.
But it's better than AC 10. So your base AC is now 8. Congratulations.
Excellent.
Okay. So anyway, okay. Anybody else? Anything else? Go ahead, Randy.
Oh, I was just trying to remember. Did we use any of our healing potions in the vampire?
Only one, and that was
for the woman in the street.
Mm-hmm. So I've still
Okay.
got
And then
one
he tried
on
to
me.
knock her out again.
Yes, that's true. Drowner, strangler, an assortment of things.
I mean, I guess I don't know about that, so I don't have to
Yeah, there you go.
give you shit.
Yeah.
You don't have to, but you always can.
Well, when I find out about it. Boy.
Yeah, then you will. Okay. So again, Randy, are you taking the mask? And if so, are you changing your face? And if so, to what?
I was at first I was like, why would they particularly mark me? But then I remember I did the whole like, I'm going to turn you.
You did.
Yeah, sure. I will take it, and I will give myself the face of Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. Are we like Mandalorian Pedro Pascal? Like the incredible
Game of
likeness of
Thrones,
being.
Pedro
The
Pascal.
unbearable weight of
Yes, that's the
Yeah.
one I was picturing.
All right.
Yes.
Sure.
That's one of my favorite Pascals,
that
actually.
grin on his face when they're on there. Yes.
Yeah, that's entirely fair. All right. So, anyone else? Special items you want me to know you've got?
I got my normal kit. So I got the possibly magical stiletto. I've got my long sword. I've still got that octel that does something. And the boots, of course. My enchanted as heck leather armor.
Enchanted as heck.
Yes.
Who has the cloak?
Look, I dropped our one. I'm trying to be cool now.
Yeah. Who has the cloak?
Well, I had the cloak. Does somebody else want to take it?
Remind me, what did the cloak do again?
The first
now?
time
Displacement.
someone
Oh,
tries to
displacement.
attack you with a missile or melee weapon, they miss. You get one free one. Unless it's a spell, of course.
I mean,
Everybody gets one.
people
But
are
the-
definitely going to attack me at some point, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to be in melee. Thank you very much. So,
Yeah.
You also
That's
have
fair.
the brooch of defense or healing, right, Eric? So I don't know if we want to split those between you and Joel, like one take the cloak, one take the brooch, or something like that. But if you're going to both be our front line.
Dwarves have the aversion to magic items in this edition.
Oh,
so
right.
All right. I will put on the brooch and the cloak.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so you
Look
will.
good, Eric.
tanking up.
Yeah,
Indeed, he is. Well, he was
very
just
styling.
he was just taunting the gods about how he wasn't dead yet just a few minutes ago. So it seems reasonable. that he
Only
should do
one
that.
god. Only one god, not
They're
all
all
the gods
listening,
in
Eric.
general.
They're all
I am
listening.
invincible.
And I will point out, it's not that we have plot armor, it's that Finnan like tanked everything for us.
Might have been what was going on there. Anyway, all right.
Stop stepping on my meta joke. All right, it's fine.
So you're out the back door and into the streets. You'll roll out. You'll go through the gardens into an alley behind the house, and you'll start making your way through the darkened streets of the city. The city's streets are thick with the aftermath of the revels and an air of quiet menace. But this time, you have Jamal as a guide, and she knows these streets like the back of her hand. And she'll take you on a route that will avoid the dangers and patrols of the watch alike. And within about 30-ish minutes, you'll find yourself at the outer pier of the harbor and begin systematically searching for the Zulkir's Pride. The docks are pretty quiet. The workers are all sort of involved in the festival. You sort of picked the right time, right, to be wandering the docks in the middle of the night. It's probably 3:30 a.m. So they're about as deserted as you're going to get them. During this period of time, on the walk over or as you begin searching the docks for the Drummond, because she believes that that's what it's going to be. It's a slave galley, a Drummond. She'll pull aside two people to talk to them briefly. That will be Rhiannon and Randy. And she'll start with Randy. She'll tap you gently on the shoulder.
Yeah.
There's something I thought you might want. And she will, from her palm, produce the holy symbol of the harp on the gray field that was hanging around Finnan's neck. I thought he would have wanted you to have it. And she'll hand it towards you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
No, it's
a flat metal disc about yay size.
Yeah.
On a
I
chain.
managed to sort of try and forget that he was laying back there dead. Now this is just like, okay,
And here it is again.
here it is again, a reminder.
So you'll put
Okay.
out your palm to take it.
Yeah, I will take it.
As it passes over from her palm to yours, you'll get a little electric shock, almost like your, feet on the carpet touch the doorknob. It's pretty clear she did not get that same experience. Do with that what you will, Randy. What do you want to do with it?
Hmm.
I could make balloons stick to the ceiling, I guess. No, I mean, I will say, well, Finder, I guess it's up to me now to do your will. So, I guess whatever you can do to help us out would be great. Thanks. And
Okay.
I'll put it around my neck.
All right. It lays on your chest at the center of your garb and feels comfortable there.
Okay.
Rhiannon, when she's done doing that, maybe that was on the walk and this is as you're beginning to search the pier and everybody else is looking, and she'll describe a Drummond and have you guys sort of look for it but not get too far apart from each other. She'll say, a moment.
Yes.
I'd show you this, and she will pull the wand from her waist. She'll hand it to you for a moment.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a reasonably delicate item, but sturdy in its construction. It's an ashwood maybe stick about 12 inches long, about an inch thick. Looks a little scorched, and it's wrapped, twined around it in copper wire that runs from the bottom of it to the very top, where it has a gem, like a sea green gem, sort of wrapped in the copper wire at the top of it, and chips of that gem around the top of the wand. She'll say, I want to show you how this works so that if something happens to me, you can use it. It contains within it the power of lightning, and it has two functions, each of which is keyed to a word. I'm going to say the words out loud so that you can memorize them. Don't repeat them now.
Correct.
Did someone say lightning?
The
I know that
first
track.
function is you could use it to strike someone, and an electric spark will leap from the wand to the person, shocking them. It's particularly effective against people wearing metal armor. She'll give a look to Joel. And you don't even necessarily need to connect with them in order for it to work. However, it is meant to be used in hand-to-hand combat. The word you would use to make it work is Dalash. Dalash. The second function is the more powerful. It creates a stroke of lightning from the tip of the wand, either forked and about 40 long paces in length and about 10 paces wide, or a line about 5 paces wide and about 80 paces in length. It's a very powerful attack, and it will kill individuals, sunder wood, and stone if it is thin enough. So use it carefully if you ever have to. Its word of command is Shal As Tala. Shal As Tala. Are you clear?
Yes.
Then I'll take it back. Okay.
Did it
And
feel like tingly at all?
It felt like a piece of wood wrapped in copper. You have an ability to just detect magic because something might be magical. So it didn't feel particularly tingly in your hands. Perhaps if you'd said the words, that might have been a different set of circumstances.
Yeah.
All right. So that happens while you're there. You'll begin systematically searching the docks, and after 15 or 20 minutes of doing just that, you'll find the Zulkir's Pride at anchor. It's at its own pier dock in the wealthy section of the outermost docks, sort of against the ocean itself, and it's flying the flags of both Fae and some other entity or organization. You don't know what that means. It has some guards pacing its deck, but only 3. They seem to be on sort of a circuit of patrol around it. It has a stern castle. It has a forecastle. It's a fairly thin but fairly long boat. And it has bank after bank after bank of oars. It looks like a trireme, if anybody knows anything about ancient ships. Although it's got like little sails. Jamal will pull you all aside maybe 100 feet from it and pull out a collapsible brass spyglass and begin working it to make it so that you can see through it. She'll look at the ship. Anything you guys want to do while she's doing that?
No, discuss sort of our approach.
Yeah, let's.
I was going to say,
Well, I
keep a
think-
watch out to make sure nobody else is sneaking up on us while she does
think-
that.
I think this is Allie's turn to shine.
Is it?
You get on
Are there
there.
shadows on
Get
this
on
boat
there
that
and you
can see?
Metal Gear Solid all 3 of those guards.
With a box?
Should we
try.
talk through the
Here,
link?
take this box. No.
Or while she's doing that, we can cause a distraction.
Yes.
Good. So we I think we should talk through the link, and then I guess Eric can't sort of
Right.
weigh in as well.
I will hang out with Jamal.
Okay.
Okay.
I will suggest Metal Gear Solid, and then I will suggest Drunken Sailor or Get Help. We should do one of those two as our distraction.
I'm not doing get help.
We should do Get Help. Anyway, I go to talk to Jamal.
Okay. So you're leaving the rest of them alone, and I'll get back to you all collectively in a moment. As you approach her, and it's just a few feet away, she'll say, "It looks like there's 3 guards." She's whispering. I'm going to stop whispering. It looks like there's 3 guards. One guarding the stern castle, which is probably where the owner of that ship resides, and 2 sort of walking the decks. It also looks like there's at least 2 hatches down to the hold. My recommendation is that we split into 2 groups. A stealthy group, me, you, and Amara, and another group that if we need to create a distraction on our way out, can do just that by rushing the deck. But I think we might be able to. I have some spells in memory that I think we could use to get ourselves in, get the boy, and get out without having to set fire to anything here. Does that make sense to you?
Does. I'm also whispering, but I'm not going to whisper. It does. I will point out that setting fire to everything is our plan A, so I appreciate your efforts to give us a different plan.
Well,
I'm
I
not
did-
sure.
Not our plan A.
Your-
It is a thing that just sort of happens when certain
Like
people
I said,
go off
plan
half-cocked.
A.
Eric, stop telling people that.
I'm not sure I am the stealthiest, but I will certainly attempt.
Well,
Yes.
I have spells of both invisibility and a potion of flight that I think can make you fairly stealthy.
Very good. Do you recognize that other flag?
Actually, that's the Zulkir of necromancy.
Oh, good.
I suspect that this ship probably belongs to. There's a woman, lady something or other, begins with an S. I don't remember her name at the moment, but she's the agent of the Thavian who runs that school. Comes to the city on business.
The woman does, or the Zulkir does.
The woman does. Zulkir doesn't leave Thay.
That's for the best.
So is slavery legal in Westgate?
Is that to
No.
whom?
I'm
Who's
asking
that to,
both,
Joel?
Eric and Jamal.
Well, you can't ask them because they're a few feet away
Oh,
from you.
they're
So you'll
okay,
have to
we're-
wait for
we're
Eric to
still
return.
gonna
Correct.
have
The,
our
the
combo.
4 of you
I
are
thought
going to
that
have
was
the
gonna-
touch each other and talk in our minds conversation. Okay. So you may touch each other and talk in your minds. Rhiannon, you will recall, for what it is worth, that when you were originally sort of taught how to do this whole thing, you discovered someone inadvertently, I think maybe at the Purple Lady, that your friend can't hear the things that you're saying when you're talking to yourselves in your mind. So if you had this desire to share that piece of information you recently acquired about your friend, you could probably do that through this link, just bringing you up to speed. All right, so what have the 4 of you got to say to each other?
So, sneaking, not going in with a fire. So,
Probably for
yeah.
the best.
Yeah, if we can
Yeah.
do this stealth, if we can do this without violence, that would be ideal. Just because there's always the risk of the hostage not making it out, or the prisoner not getting out alive if we're yeah, especially if we're setting fire to things. But even if it's just a melee, I mean, who knows how many prisoners are down there if we're just trying to get one out.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I was
I-
going to say, like, I think there's a key point there, which is that the moment Eric steps foot onto that ship, he's going to start trying to free everybody. And
More than
so
likely.
Me? What?
maybe that helps get Gedrin, and maybe that doesn't. And so I think we
would-
should sort of like plan ahead that if we're going to free everybody, like we go hard on that and we do that. And if we don't, then like we gotta like sort of sit on Eric.
Truthfully, I hate to be something we need to consider, and I hate to be the person to bring it up in this particular way, because I don't necessarily think freeing everyone at once would cause a lot of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Chaos that could potentially cover our escape.
That's
I mean,
chaos that
if-
would be good, but I'm feeling kind of neutral about this, yet good, in the sense of that I'm torn. I don't like the idea of leaving slaves in the whole of a ship or prisoners. But on the other hand, I guess we're not here to save everybody in the realms.
We're not.
And
But-
when we get out, I can just save them all with the
You're not
story,
here to
so.
save everybody in the
But-
realms.
I mean, if we decide that a mass prison break is the best way to do it, I'm all for it. I think that's if we think we are capable.
We
of
have
doing
to be
that.
willing at that point. If we do that, we have to be willing to accept that some of those people are going to die and some are probably going to get recaptured, and there's nothing we can do about that. Because if we stop trying to save all of them, we're going to die.
And in that moment of silence, Rhiannon, this is correct. We are not here to save everyone. I
thought
don't
couldn't
know
hear
why.
what-
Oh, right. You're correct. No response. Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
Just checking.
I forgot that you were in here and not out here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You're not here to
Well, that
save
would have been a good
everyone.
way to guess it.
Strange voice.
Yeah, yeah,
okay, Flash Gordon.
I think it makes sense to sort of free the people we can to give them a little more of a chance and hope that they can seize it. But we're definitely not going in sort of like trying to get everybody out one by
Right.
one.
It would be more of a chance than they would have if we left them in the hold.
Yeah, exactly. So that
And-
seems like a good compromise to me.
And if we free Gedrin and then we help Thistle free Thistle, and then she becomes the leader of the city, and then she could abolish slavery, and then they'll all be free anyway.
How
That's
How
that's
do
what
you
I'm just telling
propose-
myself.
Look, okay, we need to take this one step at a time. Free Ketrin, because like we can't focus on things like freeing Thistle from that masked asshole right now, okay? Like the Night King is gonna Night King, and we
Yeah.
can't worry about that right now.
Remind me, why are we freeing Gedrin? I thought it was something to do with
Destiny.
that whole
It's
thing, but
Elric.
It's just
It's
just
Elric.
oh right.
Eric
Oh,
promised,
okay.
tell me what.
Yeah, and we're helping that.
Got it. Shadowbane can do much good and free many slaves. There we go. That's
Okay,
Shadowbane
so-
played a key role in overthrowing the Night Masks. Let's not forget that.
okay.
Brass tacks. Allie sneaking on, is that something that you
I think
And
I can handle
then-
that.
can you do anything with like once you get down in the hold, like undoing shackles or anything like
Oh.
that? I don't know.
Allie, do you have a set of picks?
No, I don't have a set of picks yet.
You do now.
Oh,
It's riding in my pocket this whole time.
I'm assuming
Well-
I'm assuming that those are manufactured here on Earth and are made of fine metals, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Is that a correct statement, Joel?
Yes.
Okay, that the way picks work in second edition, Allie, is that the quality of the picks actually gives you a benefit to your percentage chance to do something, which I imagine is probably
Okay.
not very high to start with. I don't remember how you put the points, but I know it wasn't like all in open locks.
yeah, no, I specifically didn't put them into things that I didn't already
Know how
have
to
a
do.
lot of training in. Like,
Gotcha.
so I have the baseline thief open locks, which is not nothing. It's
Yep. This will significantly improve those chances.
okay.
Got it.
Awesome.
Anyway, I'm
You're
sorry,
right.
Rhiannon, you were wrapping up the collective chat as Eric is leaning back over to you all.
Yeah. And the rest of us, here's the question. I don't know. Should we hail the guards and like talk to them? Because as far as distractions, like I think we should not be at the point of setting shit on fire yet. But
Mm-mm.
or should we just like let Allie go and be ready to
I mean, on the one hand, engaging the guards that doesn't tip our hand, but it risks tipping our hand. But it does reduce the potential of someone running across me, at least one of the ones that we can see. We have no way of knowing if there's more on that ship. Hopefully I can be decent about the sneaking though, especially with, I'll pluck at the armor. God knows what this thing does, but I think it does something. If it used to be Alira's, it's got to do something.
And well, I mean, and I guess those of us left on the docks will be have plenty to do with sitting on Eric. So
Isn't
Fair.
Eric going on board the ship with him?
well, we don't know that yet.
We don't know that.
Oh, okay.
We're making our plan, and then Eric will be
but-
like, "Nope, I'm going."
If I
He's
can,
tall
if,
enough; it'll take at least 3 of us to.
if
sit.
I can zero in, if I can zero in and get the shackle keys off of whoever has them on that ship, then that will be a lot easier to
That's good. Good thought.
get things open. If I can't, though, we have the picks.
I'm dressed somewhat flamboyantly and piratish, so if you need me to like summon the guards or try to create a distraction, I'm happy to do
You're
so as well.
You're a
But
captain
gotta
of
be
a
on
nearby
deck.
ship. Fair
Be
enough.
on
I
deck to do
mean,
that.
that
Alright,
could
so-
be
Or-
something.
So Eric will return at this point. Go ahead, Eric.
Well, I wanted to say one more thing to Jamal.
Yep, go ahead.
So, Lady Jamal, can you remind me if slavery is legal?
Just Jamal Shadowbane.
Of course, Jamal. Can you remind me if slavery is legal in Westgate at the moment?
Not officially.
Not officially. Will the watch be very upset if they do find slaves?
There is a decent likelihood that that would be the case. However, I suppose an argument could be made about what territory the ship is if it's not actually inside the city. I don't know.
Mhm.
Were you planning on calling the watch on them?
Oh, no, not necessarily. I just happen to have, shall we say, very strong moral objections to slavery.
As do I.
Yes, I don't think I'm making myself clear. I am aspiring to be a paladin. I'm sure you've met paladins before.
I see hard-headed types, so you'll just be forced to free any slaves we come across.
Not necessarily forced, but strongly compelled.
She'll wink at you and say, I don't have to be a paladin to agree with that.
If we are working on a plan that will eventually free the slaves, I can, of course, restrain myself from doing foolish things in the furtherance of that plan.
I'd like to think I could do the same, but we'll find
Okay.
out.
I just want us to be clear about this going in.
There's a reason that I'm planning on bringing you, Shadowbane, and it isn't just that.
Oh, the team is gonna love this.
And
And then I'll go back.
Yep.
So, how's it going?
So here's our plan. Whispering, but again, not whispering. Allie's gonna sneak on. She can pick locks on shackles, maybe get shackle keys. And we will be ready to provide a distraction, but won't be providing one yet. She'll be working on pure stealth for now. But then we have various sort of options for the distraction we present. So
I see. Jamal intends to accompany Allie onto the ship using magic and her own stealthy abilities
sounds good.
to bring all of her assets to bear to assist us in the completion of our plan.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Does anyone have any objection with that?
I mean, Allie,
No.
it's up to you.
Sounds good to me. If
Okay.
if she's gonna method, yeah, I'm not gonna turn down the help.
Have you considered summoning the watch? You probably talked about it.
Why would we do
It-
that?
Just as a last case
I mean, it came up.
means of escaping. I'm sure the watch will be less murderous than the Night Mass or the Thayans.
Probably. Two things though, but like out of character before we do anything else. One, I'm going to take off the red shoulder cape that I'm wearing.
start
And
to
kind of,
get that full stealth mode
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
I'm gonna take that off.
Look, Illyra is extremely flashy and doesn't always make the best fashion choices. So
I know.
yes, I think you're doing the right thing.
Red shoulder cape off. Could I have swiped a mask
Sure,
before
absolutely.
we left?
Yep.
Like a simple like black domino mask type
Yeah.
thing.
There's a ton of those in the costume closet.
So yes, I'll put that on. And all right. Shall we, Shadowbane?
I put on the horn mask.
All right, excellent. All right, so Jamal will say, so have we discussed the plan? We're ready?
We have
Right.
discussed the plan. We're
Excellent.
ready.
For the
So then let me
purposes
be
of-
about it. Go ahead. Did you want to say
I was
something
gonna
else?
say, for the purposes of this, I've been tooling around with a moniker.
Hmm.
Nightingale.
Nightingale. I like it.
Sounds good.
Shadowbane and Nightingale. Plus your humble servant, of course.
Of course.
So she'll start casting spells and handing out potions. The first spell she'll cast is on herself. She'll pluck one of the raven feathers from her hair. She'll intone a spell, put it up and down her body, and the raven feather will disappear, and you'll notice she'll float about an inch off of the ground. The second spell she'll cast is a spell on herself to allow herself to see Dweemers. Third spell she'll cast, fourth spell she'll cast, fifth spell she'll cast will be on
Jeez.
herself, you, and Allie. You've seen this one cast before. This is a spell that, well, actually, she has to cast one more spell before she can cast this. Sorry. The fourth spell she'll cast is a spell where she'll take out a little bit of copper wire, sort of like, and attenuate the copper wire. And as she does so with her left hand, she'll point with her right hand at each of you. And then she will whisper, the copper wire will disappear, and you will hear right in your ear, as if she was standing next to you, her whispered voice. She will explain that for as long as this spell lasts, she can whisper to all of you at once, and any one of you can whisper to her. You cannot whisper to each other, but she can relay the communications that you make to one another. There must be a straight line of no more than 100 or so paces between you. So when we're below decks, we won't be able to use this to communicate, but if we pop our heads up, we can, and stay in touch with each other from shore to ship. And then she'll cast that spell that you've seen before, where she'll chew some gum, pluck an eyelash for each time she casts the spell, and you will fade out of visibility. So that's you invisible, her invisible, you, Eric, you, Allie, and her invisible.
Wait.
Yes.
Eric was staying with us, was he not? And I know that like the
Yeah,
discussion
yeah.
happened,
Sure.
but
She's casting spells on him. Do you want to comment after she casts them, before she casts them?
I mean, I think like I wouldn't interrupt her.
Yeah.
Therefore,
So he'll vanish
not
from
done.
sight.
I'm
Yeah.
not very stealthy, so
But why? So why are you going on the ship?
He's Shadowbane, she'll say in a disembodied voice. Shadowbane, the Nightingale, and your humble servant, she'll say in a disembodied voice. This gets better and better every moment. She
Well,
will.
so I'm gonna look to like Joel, and Allie and Randy and be like,
We better be ready with that distraction.
okay,
She will press some items into people's hands. First, invisibly, she'll press an item into your hand, Eric, and your hand, Allie. She'll say to the two of you, "Don't move, so I know where to find you. But drink this." It's a small potion vial, and she will press two items into your hands, Rhiannon. Well, three. First, she'll press a potion vial. She will say to conceal yourselves, and I can't gesture, but towards the docks, do you see that pile of crates and netting? There is about 30 feet from the gangplank that leads up to the ship, a big pile of crates and netting. That's a good place for you to be concealed collectively. And this potion, when she hands it from you and you take it from her, it becomes visible. So it'll zoom into your hand.
Yeah.
It's a little clay vial. Will render you invisible if you take a sip from it. There's about 4 sips, so there should be enough for any one of you to do it. If you launch any kind of attack, you'll become visible. And if you wait more than about the length of 5 long songs, you'll become visible. So only take it when you're ready to move to a position of hiding. You'll want this. She'll hand you the spyglass. And finally, this isn't going to be much use to me below decks. Remember the words, and she'll hand you the wand.
oh, thank you.
Okay. When you're ready, Shadowbane and Nightingale. And she'll put a hand on each of your backs.
Ready?
Take my
sorry,
hand.
Rhiannon. I will beg forgiveness later.
She will sort of slide her hands down to your hands and offer you her hands, the two of you.
All
She will
right.
say, "Do not let go. Drink the potion and squeeze my hand when you've done so."
All right, I'll drink it and then give the squeeze.
Okay. The potion is thick, like honey, and sweet. But once it goes down the throat, it goes from being thick to being kind of watery. It's a weird phase transition, almost like it's melting in your mouth as it goes down. You'll feel a moment of sort of like giddy disorientation, and you'll float up off the ground. Whoa, that's kind of cool. I assume none of you have flown on your own power before.
Hmm.
Definitely not.
Yeah, okay. So you're about to. You've all seen Peter Pan, right?
Mhm.
Think happy thoughts. And she'll guide you up off the ground and over the deck of the ship. And as we do that, we'll take our first break.
Don't go away.